It's been sort of a gloomy day out there, but things seem to be looking up a bit. Let's check in with KIMT Stormteam 3 meteorologist Sarah Knox. Sarah, what are you looking at as we head into the weekend?
Well, first, Jess, I like how you said it's clearing up a bit. We are still seeing some chances for rain lingering through, a few isolated showers. But yes, things are clearing up a bit here as we come into our Friday evening. Austin not looking too bad whatsoever. Did have, of course, some rain earlier. A lot of us did, but now just the cloud cover. If you want to head out to the Mower County Fair, now's a good time to do it. We do still have those chances for rain. They're small, though. Grab the umbrellas, you're headed out, and if you're not worried about too much of the rain, well, then, like I said, not a bad time to get out there. It's 68 degrees in Austin. That is a 5-degree difference from where we were at this time just yesterday. We're cooler by 5 degrees, but not all of us are cooler. Look at Mason City, 71 degrees. That is up 7 degrees from just 24 hours ago. So yes, some of us are on the warmer side, some of us the cooler side. But as we head into the weekend, I am tracking some near perfect temperatures as well as some decent conditions. And there's a lot of events going on for sure. So you're going to want to stick around and hear the full forecast here in the next few minutes. For now, though, it's back to Jess.
All right, thank you, Sarah. New tools and technologies could help Minnesota adapt to climate change. This week, the Pollution Control Agency used new drones with thermal cameras right here in Rochester to better understand how higher temperatures affect some of the city's most densely populated areas. Aaron Hazandada shows us why living on a heat island can hurt your health and your wallet.
Let's find out.
To make the city of Rochester more climate resilient, this drone is on the hunt for urban heat islands.
Ready to go.
Pockets that hold more heat.
An urban heat island is where you have enough of a collection of buildings and pavement that the temperatures are actually hotter there.
That effect, Laura Milberg says, increases energy costs, air pollution levels, and heat-related illnesses.
If you have enough of them, then you can actually have a sustained temperature that's higher than the surrounding area.
When the drone goes up to have a look around, it's searching for which areas are the hottest. So typically things like pavement or buildings are going to be hotter, and then things like tree canopies and gardens, less so.
Part of the problem with it is that pavements absorb that heat and radiate it out later over an extended period of time.
Right now, looking over the park, you can see areas of which are hot, which are being cooked by the sun. Prime example right here is the reflection off the shelter that we're standing by and the path where you can see asphalt.
This drone data helps city planners plot where they'll plant next.
In general, it just helps inform how we start to build out our community, where we prioritize certain types of infrastructure. I think the biggest thing, though, is just really starting to build that picture and that connection of climate change and health. Those high heat days affect older populations, people with underlying health conditions like asthma.
Solutions are twofold, Milberg says. Adapted infrastructure like more cooling centers help. So do more green spaces.
Green roofs, white roofs or light colored roofs help to reflect the heat instead of absorb it and radiate it out again. Even vegetated walls, so like growing vines on walls and stuff, all of that helps to keep the heat from absorbing and radiating out.
Another eye in the sky as we all search for solutions in the face of our changing climate.
One of the drones also monitored air quality in Rochester. The city is using a grant from the Pollution Control Agency to build a resilience hub, which is essentially a place where residents can go during climate emergencies like a flood or heat wave.
The Minnesota Department of Commerce says it's getting an increasing number of complaints after storms from Minnesotans asked about limitations in their homeowners insurance. The department is issuing a consumer alert asking you to review your current insurance policies and talk to an insurance agent to review your wind and hail damage coverage for any recent changes or modifications that may take effect at the next renewal. It's also encouraging Minnesotans to understand how much repairs may cost out of pocket, how to select a good licensed contractor to do repair work on your home as well. The department says it's seeing a 20% increase in complaints since 2020. Some insurance policies also now include a separate higher deductible for hail and wind damage. For example, you might be required to pay a flat rate or 1% or more of the home's replacement value before coverage kicks in. While such storm-specific deductibles are sometimes promoted as a way to save money on premiums, homeowners should look at those potential savings against the amount they may have to pay in repairs should their house be damaged in a storm. The fire department in Rochester is highlighting a new online program called Community Connect. It's going to allow community members and property owners to share valuable life safety information with the department. This will help RFD have the most up-to-date information about your home or place of business before arriving on scene. Community Connect is a secure platform, and the information provided will only be used by the Rochester Fire Department and the response partners for the purpose of training and better serving you during emergency situations. All logins and passwords are protected with bank-level encryption and security.
Winona State's University Graduate Nursing Program is moving downtown into the second floor of the WSU Rochester Broadway building. There will be a ribbon-cutting ceremony next Thursday alongside the Rochester Area Chamber of Commerce. Winona says Rochester has been a vital part of its community infrastructure since 1917. They began expanding in 2017 as a complement to their campus space on RCTC's location. Downtown Rochester is an international destination for advanced medical practice and research, and it is important for faculty and students to contribute to and benefit from the energy of the area. The Zumbro Valley Medical Society is kicking off its second year of the street medicine elective for Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine students. It will begin next Wednesday from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Students get to work with local partners from agencies who serve people who experience homelessness in Olmsted County. They'll learn ways to bring health care out of the clinical setting and to underserved communities.
Brad Finstead was sworn into Congress earlier this morning. Here's a look at the ceremony with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi giving the oath of office. Finstead was joined by his family at the swearing-in. He is filling the seat vacated after the death of Jim Hagedorn after winning Tuesday's special election. Hagedorn died from cancer back in February. The Rochester Police Department has released the names of 7 suspects arrested for dealing drugs in Rochester today, with the ages ranging from 16 years old to 31. Police say last week they were tipped off about people dealing drugs out of the Motel 6. On Wednesday, police got a warrant to enter several rooms there, calling it a threat to public safety after several juveniles have overdosed recently. RPD says meth was found along with dozens of blue M30 pills. Counterfeit M30 pills are known to contain fentanyl, which has been responsible for several overdoses and deaths in Rochester. Among those in custody include 31-year-old Anthony Lindsay from Rochester, 30-year-old Heather Neary, also from Rochester, and 19-year-old Charles Hadler from Lake City. For a full list of suspects and their charges, visit our website, KIMT.com.
The end is approaching for Rochester Elementary School. In just weeks, the old Longfellow Elementary School building will be torn down.
KIMT News 3's Jeremy Wall is live from the school with what the city is planning to replace it with. Jeremy?
Jessica and Amy, I spoke to Parks and Recreation Forestry head Mike Nigber, who tells me they want to turn this site behind me, where Longfellow Elementary School once was, into more of a recreational site. Nigber says the building will be demolished while the pavement would stay. The plan is to turn this site into a splash pad, basketball court, and a baseball field. He tells me a recreational site is best fit for this property because there's a gap in amenities for the community. According to Nigber, it's an underserved area that was once outside city limits.
I think that when we look at what the amenities we have across the entire park system, there, like I said earlier on, there's some gaps in our service areas that we need to address. As the community continues to grow, parkland needs to grow as well along with that to, again, meet those needs in the local area where those neighborhoods actually grow at.
Now, the city plans to contact residents all over this area to find out how they want the amenities designed. There's also budgets available for this project, but the city doesn't know how much everything will cost yet. Live in Rochester, Jeremy Wall, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Jeremy. The design for the new amenities will be created during the fall and winter.
The demolition of Longfellow Elementary School is scheduled for next month.
Well, if you notice, turkey is hit or miss at some delis and restaurants. You're not alone. A number of factors have contributed to stores having turkey meat one day and then being out for several days. For some grocers, it's been an issue for weeks. John Loston shows us when the shortage will end and how shoppers can plan in the meantime.
Deli almost every week, meat, veggies, kind of try to hit the outside ring as much as we can.
Lisa Anderson is on her weekly shopping trip to McIntoons in Waconia. Here, she can count on finding everything on her grocery list, except deli turkey.
I would say for the last 2 or 3 weeks here, they've had a sign up saying there's a shortage. We've had some kind of off brands that they don't normally carry. Sometimes completely out.
For Mac and Tunes and other grocery stores, it really comes down to two things: supply chain issues and the avian bird flu. This store has been lucky because as a smaller company, they can pivot from one supplier to another when supply gets low. But even so, it's become a day-to-day guessing game.
Not going to tell people that we have turkey, but we do right now. And as of tomorrow, we won't, because the most recent supplier we found now is out of turkey.
Minnesota is the #1 turkey producing state in the country, but General Manager Ed Gardeski says supply chain issues have been a problem since the beginning of the pandemic, and this spring's wave of avian influenza only compounded the issue.
The main supplier for our deli slicing meat is about 4 months out now with getting that product back in.
While bird flu cases have dropped in Minnesota, there is concern a second wave of the flu could hit during fall migration. The good news is deli meat should eventually catch up, and the USDA is not anticipating a turkey shortage for Thanksgiving. But Gardeski says consumers should think about placing their turkey orders earlier this year, just in case.
It's going to be close this year if you want a big bird. So if you want a big bird and find it now, I'd go buy it.
80 farms in Minnesota have been impacted by the bird flu. About 75% of them are commercial turkey farms, but the number of infected birds is below what we saw in 2015. Still to come, it seems inflation is hitting our wallets hard because of rising prices, but one family-owned grocery chain in Minnesota is seeing quite the opposite.
Plus, sometimes treating an illness might be as simple as going outside and getting a breath of fresh air. How enjoying nature can improve your mental and physical health. And later, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is considering more vaccines after a silent spread of the polio virus in New York. Health officials are saying it's just the tip of the iceberg.
KIMT News 3 at 5. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Amy Fleming. Tracking storms with Stormteam 3 meteorologist Sarah Knox. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening right now. We are coverage you can count on.